Good afternoon, I'm Crimson Skies, and welcome to episode 16 of my Entropia universe journey. That's right, episode. I'm changing the theme from day to episode simply because at this point I feel it would be too misleading since I have taken a break from recording. So I feel episode is more appropriate and fitting. However, I will keep the number so that it doesn't get confusing in the future if I ever try to do something to cover my journey up to that point, like a recap or something. Now, something important to note that wasn't recorded was my mentor, Lionel Sushi, had flown me around Cyrene getting a bunch of teleport locations and daily missions. Also, he showed me his favorite location to sweat mobs, which is where I started the video since I had to log off and go to work and figured that that location was safe enough for me to leave. So now that we are more or less caught up, onto this video. As soon as I logged in, I ran back to the teleporter and went back to the rookie training area since I had 3 missions that involved hunting weak Penellians. I figured this would be a good use of my time, especially since one of the missions gave ammunition after hunting 80 Penellians with the trade terminal weapon. Unfortunately, the weapon felt incredibly weak and I was using a lot of ammo. Eventually, someone told me I only really needed to last hit the enemy with the weapon, so I started using the Barbarella. But that weapon is also a bit on the weak side as well, finding myself to have spent more ped on ammo than what I believe I was actually going to make doing this quest. I felt I need to find a stronger weapon to help me limit the costs in the future. Now, something interesting I noticed when I was selling the loot was that the tail whip I had gotten had a markup of 2,500% on the auction. So not putting that item in with the rest of the loot I had gotten and selling them, planning on maybe putting it up for auction later. I went and finished the quest to hunt 80 Penellians. Once that quest had finished, I figured since I still have 2 more missions to hunt Penellians, I figured I'd stay, but instead of just outright hunting the mob, I chose to instead swunt the mob in hopes of not completely losing ped in the process of these quests. Now at this point, my mentor came on and told me about Donald Wilson, and that he has some really good videos about Cyrene. So while I was swunting to Penellians, I was watching his video that explained a good part of the planet, a huge amount of daily missions that give really good skill experience, and his interest in the armors you can get with the arc badges. About an hour and a half of me watching videos while swunting to Penellians, I eventually needed to go and spend time elsewhere. So I went to the auction and put that single tail whip up for 1 ped bid and 2 ped buyout, just to see if anyone is actually willing to pay even 1 ped for the item. Spoke with my mentor for a while as I looked through one of my recordings and then logged off and called it a day. Now, a couple days later, I only logged in to see how my shares and deeds were doing, so I may as well just put this here too. First off, someone did bid 1 ped for the tail whip, which I was pleasantly surprised to see. So, on to the rest. On Monday, the 17th of July in 2023, the deeds I own, which is 13 Arcadia Underground deeds and 25 Arcadia Moon deeds, paid out 0.26 PEC. The shares I owned was 85 Calypso Land Deed Trust shares, which paid out 3.4 ped, and 2 New Treasure Island shares, which paid out 0.02 pec, giving me a total this week of 3.68 ped. Now, obviously, the 0.26 pec from the deeds was only for that one day. I didn't really take into account the whole week, so technically, I'm fairly certain I would have been over the 4 ped mark for the week in total. But since I didn't actually track the information, it's only an estimation. Beyond this, I sweat the Penellians for maybe 15 minutes before I needed to get ready for work. So that's all I have for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.